right, let's get right into it because we are looking at a geopolitical situation that is just bizarre. I mean, we're talking about the United States, the leader of the free world, threatening one of its oldest and closest allies. It honestly sounds like something out of a spy movie, but believe me, this is very real.
I know, right? The question itself seems totally absurd. But the talk coming out of Washington has gone way beyond just some casual offer to buy Greenland. It's escalated into a diplomatic standoff that feels, well, it feels pretty threatening. This isn't just random noise. It's a serious and frankly aggressive new turn in foreign policy.
And this isn't just talk, not by a long shot. There is an actual bill floating around that would formalize this power. The whole idea is to give a president the, let's call it legal cover, to just annex Greenland whenever they feel like it, totally sidestepping diplomacy and international law. Now, the response from both Denmark and Greenland has been crystal clear from day one. They've basically said, look, we're your allies, we value our partnership, but we are not for sale. Simple as that. You couldn't get a clearer no. And yet, despite that, the pressure from Washington just keeps on building.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. This whole fixation on Greenland, it might seem like it came out of nowhere, but it is not new at all. This has been an American ambition simmering under the surface for more than 100 years. I mean, just look at the history. Back during World War I, Woodrow Wilson gave it a shot. Then during World War II, the U.S. actually occupied the island to keep it out of Nazi hands. And right after the war, President Truman tried to buy it. Then, in 1951, they signed a defense deal that put a permanent U.S. military base there, which is still active today. So this new push for total control, it's really just the latest and definitely the most aggressive chapter in a very, very long book. And this, right here, just perfectly captures the contradiction, doesn't it? On one hand, when another big power violates a country's borders, the U.S. stands up for international law and sovereignty. But when it comes to Greenland, suddenly that logic gets completely flipped. All of a sudden, total control becomes a matter of national security, using the exact same kind of arguments that other global powers make. So, you have to ask, what changed? The U.S. has had a key military base in Greenland for over 70 years. Why this sudden, intense pressure for a total takeover now? Well, the answer is literally buried just under the surface of a whole lot of melting ice. For 100 years, Greenland's value was all about its location. It was like a giant, unsinkable aircraft carrier in the North Atlantic. A crucial piece on the global chessboard, but its economic potential was, well, it was locked away under miles of ice. But that reality has been completely upended by one massive global game change. Yep, climate change. It's melting Greenland's ice sheet at a truly mind-boggling rate. And as all that ice disappears, two unbelievable sources of wealth and power are starting to emerge. And they're changing the strategic map for the entire planet. First, you've got brand new shipping lanes opening up in the Arctic. We're talking about routes that could shave weeks off the trip from Asia to Europe. Routes that could one day rival the Suez Canal and totally rewire global trade. And second, beneath all that melting ice is an unbelievable treasure trove of natural resources, huge amounts of oil and gas, gold, diamonds, and, this is the big one, rare earth minerals. This is the real prize. These rare earth elements are the secret sauce in basically all of our modern tech. They're in the phone in your pocket, they're in electric cars, they're in sophisticated defense systems, they are everywhere. And right now, China dominates that entire market, which gives them enormous global leverage. Greenland, well, Greenland is a chance for the U.S. to break that hold. So what this all adds up to is a brand new global competition, a new cold rush, you could say. For the first time in human history, the Arctic is opening for business, and a high-stakes race for control has kicked off, with Greenland sitting right at the epicenter. You've got all the major players scrambling for a piece of the pie. Russia is building up its military presence, trying to control its northern sea route. China has cleverly declared itself a near-Arctic state because it's desperate for access to those new shipping lanes and resources. And right in the middle of it all, you have the U.S., which clearly sees owning Greenland as the ultimate trump card to dominate this entire new frontier. And hey, don't think this is just a government thing. Oh no. The private sector is already making its move. We're talking about some of the biggest names in tech and finance, and they are pumping billions into mineral exploration projects all over Greenland. They see which way the wind is blowing, and they are investing huge amounts of money to get in early. But this aggressive push by the U.S. creates a massive, dangerous paradox. Because in its quest to secure its future, America is threatening to break the single most successful military alliance in history, NATO. This right here, Article 5. This is the absolute heart and soul of NATO. It's a sacred promise. It means an attack on Denmark is an attack on Poland and France and the UK and, yes, the United States itself. It is the bedrock of Western security, period.
And this is the existential question, the one nobody ever wanted to even think about. The entire alliance was built to defend against an outside enemy. It never, ever imagined a scenario where its most powerful member would be the aggressor against another member.
There's no playbook for this. There's no emergency procedure. Any kind of hostile American move on Danish territory would spark a crisis that could make the entire security structure of the West just collapse from the inside. It would make Article 5 completely meaningless and could very well be the end of the alliance. So when you boil it all down, it really comes to this one single dangerous idea. If the world's most powerful country decides to just abandon international law to take what it wants, what message does that send to every other nation? It says that your borders are just suggestions. It says your sovereignty only lasts as long as you can defend it with military force. In a world where might makes right, who's actually safe?